This is a 2JZ engine, and this is automation, a car building simulator. I want to see if you can build an engine that mimics real life exactly. So because I know absolutely nothing about building engines, I'm gonna be using Grok AI to try and guide me, because you know,
Elon Musk, very good.
So the prompt I gave it is quite simple. I'm using the game automation to build engines. Can you help me step by step to copy the iconic 2JZ GTE engine found in the Mark IV Toyota Supras? So let's see what it gives us. Okay, Grok AI generated the whole list for us. I think we have everything here: engine configuration, aspiration, valve train and camshaft, fuel system, internals, exhaust and intake, and then the final tuning and adjustments. So yeah, let's hop over to automation and see if we can build this thing. Okay, so following along with Grok AI, it's saying it's a inline 6-cylinder, then it's the block material is cast iron, and I actually believe, yes, it's a 3 liter, so it keeps the 86mm bore and 86mm stroke. Then on the head and valve side, it's a dual overhead cam, and then it has 4 valves per cylinder. The head material is going to be aluminium. And then on the quality side, I'm not quite sure what we have to do about the quality. So I actually think for now we're gonna leave it on 0 and then just check the performance at the end, and then we can just try and tweak this a bit to match the real 2JZ's performance metrics. Okay, moving on here to our next panel, we have so let's check the crank. Grok AI is saying it's forged steel crank. Then it's going to be forged steel connecting rods as well. Forged steel, where's forged steel? So we actually don't have a forged steel setting here. So I think we might just go for forged. I think that will be the best option here. Then for pistons, it's going to be cast aluminium. So I'm thinking, since we don't have an option for material, I think we just go for normal cast. Then on the balancing mass, let me quickly check out. So once again, the AI doesn't have an option. It doesn't show me whether it has a balancing mass or not. So I think we're just gonna go for none for now. Just see what that does. So let's move on here to the next panel. This is definitely not a tutorial on building the engine, so I'm just gonna speed through this. So the compression ratio is 8.5. Then the cam profile, Grok AI is saying between 50 and 60, so let's just give it a in between of 55. Springs and lifters, it doesn't actually tell me what to do, so I think we're gonna leave this stock for now. So the 2JZ GTE didn't have VVT, so we're gonna leave that to none. Grok AI is saying the earlier or the later versions like the GE of the 2JZ had the VVT installed, so you can leave those at none. And then the RPM, it should redline at about 7200 RPM, and then we leave the quality as well. Leave the quality at 0. So let's go on to the next panel, and here's the interesting part, the turbos. Turbochargers, it's a twin turbo beast. Then we're gonna leave the wastegate normal for now. I think the intercooler, we can leave most of this stock. I'll prompt Grok AI to give more information about the turbo system if necessary, depending on what we get out. So let's see. Yeah, all of this can stay as is. The quality can stay at 0 as well. Let's go on to the next panel, which is the fueling system and exhaust system. So 2JZ is fuel injected, and then it should be multi-point fuel injection. It doesn't actually tell me whether it's single or per cylinder, so I think we just might go for per cylinder. Let's leave it at that. And then we're gonna have a high performance intake manifold. Can leave the manifold size like that for now, I think. We're gonna go for 95 premium octane. So Grok is actually recommending 93 octane, but we don't have the option for that, so we're just gonna stick with 95. And then our ignition timing and fuel map, we're just gonna leave it as is. And for our headers, we're gonna go for tubular race. I think leave the header. Holy crap, these turbos are huge. Okay, so we're gonna leave it at tubular race, leave the header size the same. I think these we can also leave. The pipe does look, the exhaust pipe does look a bit small. I think Grok Aero doesn't actually tell me what size to use, so I think we're just gonna bump it up to like 80 millimeters. That should be fine. And then we're gonna take out the catalytic converter. I think first muffler, let's leave out the mufflers. Grok Aero, ooh, that's a good start. So it's saying our crank has failed due to excessive RPM. So I'm thinking this might be due to the Grok AR recommendation not being available. Well, actually no, it did say forged steel. So I think let's push it to forged steel heavy maybe. It's still breaking the crank at 5200 RPM. Why could that be? Okay, so I have it fixed now. I was playing around with the quality settings of all of them. I just bumped the quality settings up to just before the mountains red. So it's still reasonable, like the 2JZ is a well produced engine, so the quality won't be that bad. And then the actual problem was the balancing mass. So it actually needs a, like taking off the balancing mass just screws up the crank immediately. So it is 100% fixed now, and we have some power figures. Cool, yeah, and just make sure about the figures. Oh, it's loud. Oh, that sounds great, dude. Sounds so good. So the horsepower is quite high for some reason. I'm not sure why. So it's 6200 RPM, just about. It's making 460 horsepower. So the stock GTE should make between 280 and 320 stock, I believe. So I'm gonna play around with it and try to get it as close as possible to the original engine. But for this current setup, it's not very realistic. Like, this is a stock engine and it's making almost double the horsepower of the real life stock one. Okay, we are back and this is actually insane. So at 6200 RPM we are making right around 323 horsepower. So this is 3 horsepower off from the stock real life one. So this is actually insane. So we had a few problems. We didn't have the catalytic converters, and the mufflers wasn't on. So that was one of the problems. The exhaust size was way too big. I think I put a 80mm exhaust on at the start, and it should be a 63 or 63.5 in this case. Doesn't really matter. This side I didn't change anything. Let's see. Oh yeah, I prompted Grok AI to tell me the correct settings for the turbo. The turbo was way too big and it was making 0.3 bar. Too much boost, so I'm not sure what's that in PSI. Don't ask me, can't tell you. And then I believe that's it. That's all the settings I changed, and it's basically exactly like the real world one, and it's making exactly the same power. This is actually insane. This wouldn't be a 2JZ video if we didn't do a 1000 horsepower build. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go through all the build settings and just build the ultimate 2JZ. So here we have it, the ultimate 2JZ, and we are making some power, boys. So let's have a look at this. At 6700 RPM we are making 1100 horsepower. So experienced engine builder could probably get this higher, but with my limited knowledge and without using AI this time, I got 1100 horsepower at 6700 RPM. Let's quickly do a pull and hear how this thing sounds, man. Oh, it sounds insane. It's just lacking the Supra, the real built-up Supra turbo noises though. So there we go. We can definitely conclude that automation is extremely realistic. If you actually know what you're doing, you can get like completely accurate copies of real-life engines. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It really helps the channel, it helps me stay motivated and get you guys more content. If you have any suggestions for engines you want me to make, leave it in the comments down below, and in future videos we might actually be able to put these engines in either BeamNG or Assetto Corsa, whatever works the best.